92.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here at the Newberry High School football field. Another beautiful Friday night as we get you ready for Week 5 action as the Newberry Indians host the Superior Central Cougars. Another beautiful Friday night. Coach Jeff Puckett, Dan Hardbrook, glad to have you along. Starting lineups getting announced now, and Coach ready to go for a big ball game. Two teams kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum, but you know, don't play the game on paper.
That's right, you just can't. And some people might be looking past this game. I know this coaching staff isn't, and I'm sure they're going to rein this team in to make sure they don't look a little ahead of this team. On any given day, you can be beat or you can win, and that's, as you said, Dan, why we play them.
My message, if I'm on the Superior Central sideline, different than the message that they've got nothing to lose. They can be loose, they can fly around, leave it all on the field, and see where the chips fall in this matchup, whereas Newberry probably might have to take some things conservative at times. They may sub a little bit extra because they are looking at two very big ball games coming up in the next 3 weeks, which this has the old trap game written all over it if you don't come out and execute at a high level.
Absolutely. I'm sure Coach Joe Austin and Rudy Mendoza and the rest of the staff want this to come out and put this away early if they can. Now, as far as the Cougars coaching staff, I would coach it just like you said. I would bring up all week, I'd be talking about those upsets that happen throughout the ages. We've all seen those games. Some of us have played in those games. We've been on both sides. My coaching career, I've been on both sides. As a player, I've been on both sides. You just can never tell, Dan.
Yep.
And you come out and you play it, and my good friend Keith Alto did a study for his master's degree that talked about why kids are involved in athletics. And the number one reason is because it's fun, because they like to play whatever sport they're in. And that's why what we have to stay focused on, especially at the high school level.
I was likening it to somebody who was asking me about the matchup earlier this week as kind of a role reversal of the old Brown Jug series. There was never going to be a Newberry team that said, hey, we're not going to go in and play the mighty Big Beast Sioux High. We're going to lay our chips down, and that was oftentimes, as you've been a part of that rivalry several times, that was lay it all on the line, man, and see what you can pull out.
Absolutely. 100%, Dan. That's the kind of game that the Brown Jug game always was for the Sioux, even back in the day when Newberry was a little bit bigger school.
We're going to step aside here as we get tonight's national anthem. When we come back, we'll be ready for kickoff in tonight's contest. It's the Indians and the Cougars with M123 FM and the E.U.P Sports Network.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
One of my favorite parts about home sporting events now is the student involvement that we get at Newberry High School. Sophie Johnson sang the national anthem at volleyball. She's an accomplished musician and jamming it out on the saxophone tonight. We're just about ready to go here in this one. How about that, Coach? Hey?
Wow, that was fantastic. I don't know that gal's name, but
Sophie Johnson.
Sophie Johnson. That is Sophie, isn't it? Man, can she play? And the fireworks going off already in preparation. A kickoff here this evening. What a beautiful evening we have, Dano. Newberry won the toss and chose to defer.
As they like to do under the leadership of Joe Austin. Zach Clickner's back down on the sidelines now helping. Rudy Mendoza and Coach Clickner will wear the headsets, talking with Coach Smithson, who's up here. We're in his ear all night. He's feeding us stuff from the sideline, and we are just about ready to go here in this one.
Superior Central decided to face into the west, which would surprise me, because they will not even have, they'll have the sun, and they won't have the clock in the second quarter, which is kind of surprising, but they must have their reasons.
Ready to go here in this contest. Indians will tee it up with Gabe Hamilton, the youngest player on this Newberry varsity roster.
He's been a nice addition, Dan, to bring up. Plays both ways, plays all the time, does a lot of things for him.
And what that does is Rahali's been battling ankle and foot injuries all season long. It just gives him a little extra break. He can also be what they call the torpedo man on this kickoff coverage unit. And this one booted deep down. Cougars will bring it back. This one, big return, nice hole and a big hit to upend things at about the 41-yard line.
Nice run back by number 17.
Big hole there right off the bat for the Cougars.
Not sure who the return man was. I don't have a 17 on my roster, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
First down, Cougars.
They'll spot it just outside the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 coming for the Cougars. And that one is brought in for a quick stop. Gabe Luck having another monstrous year.
He sure is, Dan. An all-U.P player from last year, and he continues that run with hard work and preparation throughout the year.
2 plays into the ball game. I'm already breaking stuff upstairs. Give here on a straight dive. Nice fill from the back level by Rahali. Led the team in tackles in that win over in Ironwood last week.
Brings up a big 3rd down, and it looks like about 5 yards to go for the Cougars. As they come to the line again, they're in the straight eye set, double tight. Then we're with a 3-man front. Lots of guys in the box. They're daring them to throw. Long count. Turn. Give to the tailback. Tight in the middle. He picks up about 3, Dan.
Good gang tackle there. You see Tally Cox come up there and help. Rahali, Hamilton, Brian Nelson. More shakeups again this week defensively as Coach Austin continues to give different guys a chance to see some playing time. 4th down and about 4. Movement for the Cougars. Back them up.
Cougars stand in that same eye, double tight set. Looks like they're satisfied just running at the Indians. And they've had a little success so far, but that penalty was certainly a drive killer.
Opening drive of the contest. We're about a minute and a half into this one. Cougars started with the ball. Solid return. 4th and a long 8. I don't know, Coach, if 8 does it. Probably need 9. Still in that I formation. Josh Trader's been coaching his way up from the youth level all the way to the varsity. Little flea flicker.
Wide
Big
open.
hit on a throw. Incomplete as it falls just short. That's a big hit in the backfield on the flea flicker. And give the Cougars credit, they tried to pull one out of the hat early on in the contest.
Then they had it open, Dan. If he could have just taken one more half a second to throw, it's a huge gain it would have been, but Newberry dodges the bullet, and they'll take over on the Cougars' 42-yard line.
Gavin Nutkins back under center as the starting quarterback. We will see a little bit of Rahali based on the sets, but Maddie has been taking over the lead carry duties while Kennedy Depew has also been battling injuries.
Split left flanker right for the Indians.
Rahali breaks a couple of tackles, keeps on rumbling. Nice run by Maddie Rahali.
I think we'll see a lot of that tonight, Dan. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't open the playbook up too much and just focus on fundamentals and run right at this Cougar defense.
Tom McKee doing a great job in the white hat tonight. Want to thank this referee crew. This game was canceled at this time last week, but they resurrected it thanks to this officiating crew. Rahali, right side, stumbles, keeps going, works up the right side. He's down to the 21-yard line.
Solid blocking up front on that, Dan, out of Gabe Luck and Big Pavey, as well as Taylor, as the Indians continue to handle this defensive front for the Cougars. Second down and short, Dano.
Nutkins as they go spread. Give to Rahali. He's got room left side. Nelson missed a block, but Maddie bounces it around, gets to the corner, twisted up. He's inside the 5. And it's first and goal coming for the Indians.
Indians pretty much doing what they want to do so far up front. The Cougars haven't the answer yet. 23, their contained man, was in position that time. But Raleigh kicked the leg inside, bobbed the head outside, and around the end he went.
Ball right at the 5-yard line. First and goal for the Indians. They're open. And a lot of Maddie Rahali. He'll get to the corner right down.
First goal from the line.
Looks like Gavin Vining, a freshman, number 34, on the tackle, and a very solid tackle on Rahal play.
No JV handled the Mustangs last night in JV action.
Big win for the Indians.
At halftime, we'll have an interview. I was able to sit down with Coach Klickner earlier today. Talk about the first half of their season. Nothing spectacular. Newberry wants the Cougars to play their game, and they do a nice job there on the opening drive.
Indians huddled, ready to go for, lined up in that flanker set with a split to one side, flanker to the other, one back Rahali, back with Nutkins. Fake to Rahali.
Yeah.
He rolls right, decides to tuck it and get in himself. So at 8:45, the Indians go ahead 8-0 to score on their first drive of the evening after the Cougars gave it over on downs.
Less than 2 minutes, and it was a steady dose of old 2-4 there as he powers his way to the end zone. 8-0 here early on in this contest on a beautiful Friday night. The fireworks are already going off.
It's kind of what we expected so far, Dan.
I like
although, if you go back to that last play, it's still been going.
Oh, yeah, and the pressure will cause the underthrow on that play, or else, like you said, the Cougars may still be working. Hamilton, high kick underneath it, fielded at about the 22. Cougars will bring it forward. Another solid return for Superior Central. Saw a straight eye from the Cougars. And then they went play fake off of it. The little tree. The other thing that hurt Superior Central on that first drive is they had 4th and 2 or 4th and about 3 and had that false start penalty.
And they jumped. It looks like they were trying to bury the count to catch the Indians, and it backfired on them. You end up catching yourself in the trap. A little different formation this time, Dano.
We're going to go wing to the right. Look at the tailback.
Wing right, and they're
he's
heavy.
About 9 yards off the ball.
Counter. I think that play was meant to run up inside the trap block. It was there briefly, but the running back decided to get it outside, and Rahaly was there with open arms to welcome him to the sidelines.
What do you do on a play design there where you have your tailback 8 or 9 yards off the ball? Are you trying to fake that counter back and then go trap?
I think so. I'm a little surprised that he's that deep, unless he's that fast, and I haven't seen that out of him yet. Back to the eye. Double
Indians
tight.
go with their 32. They're in a cover 3 deep after almost giving up that big pass play earlier. Drive right up the middle. Hamilton, the youngster.
Big Hamilton met him. Fought off the block quickly. A little swim move to his left. And a straight-on, face-on-face tackle by Big Hamilton, the sophomore.
3rd and 13 coming up. I tell you what, Newberry, their defense last week in Ironwood had double-digit tackles for loss as a team last week, including 6 on the first 4 drives of the contest. They have been getting better up front. Make it 3rd and 14. Trips or twins to the right side. Single receiver back, another throw, incomplete as they just miss on the post route. Had a chance there, but I think the quarterback a little rattled after the big hit last time.
I think so, and that 3-man front has been able to put ample pressure on the Cougars offense so far, and they come to the line ready to go. Newberry still in that 3-man look.
Max protect punt here. Rahaly is back. Matty, what, about the 32, 33-yard line there? Snap.
And end over end snap.
Almost blocked. It's a worm burner kind of off to the right side. And it will come to a rest at the 35-yard line. Indians go back on the attack. 1st and 10, 7-11 to go here in the opening quarter. They are on top 8 to nothing.
So on a long drive, well, about 45 yards it ended up being. Mostly on the shoulders of Matty Rahaly as he ran over and over and did exploit their left side. We'll see if the coaches come back to that. Double tight. T backfield.
They're going to go
Trap inside.
Nelson up the middle. Break
Nelson
free.
off to the races. Stumbles, tumbles, and bumbles. Just past into Superior Central territory, right on their 40-yard line.
25-yard run for Nelson. That'll be his longest of the season, and a nice job up the middle. And we know the old ball coach loves trap.
He does, and any football coach worth their salt is going to run that trap and run that trap and run that trap, because as old Roger Beers used to say, they'll stop you, and then you bust it for a big gain, and that's what happened right there.
All Rahaly on the first drive, and they faked through him to set it up. Nelson, same thing, back the other way. Nelson, stiff arm, tough tackle, and Nelson's got 22 there. 2 big carries for Brian Nelson.
The offensive line continues to block well. Big Pavey up front with Taylor, along with Hamilton. Gabe Luck is there, and they're able to move bodies around up front right now. Another first down for the Indians.
The easiest job in the world right now, man. Just give and go. Snap was bobbled a little bit there. Almost jinxed him, Coach, and Nelson plunges forward.
And I would expect to see that fake to Nelson this time. Give to Rahaly on that little counter going the other way.
One thing I've noticed too, I've been doing the stats for the varsity football team on the season, and the balance between Rahaly, Nelson, and Depew in the backfield has been almost an even split between the 3 in terms of touches and carries.
There it is.
Rahaly bounced back. Good call, Coach, and he'll plunge forward. It'll be 3rd and short coming up.
A big 3rd down here for the Indians. We'll see their first challenge of the ball game, really, on a 3rd and short. Will we see the pass here? The quick slant? I don't think so, Dano. I would bring it right back to Nelson.
They're averaging, Nelson's over 20 yards per carry on this drive. Rahali was probably right around 10 the last drive.
50 double.
Touchdown. Gabe Luck, the tight end. Known for being an all-U.P. Dream Team defensive lineman, but Coach, old boy's got hands.
He does. He wants to be involved in the offense, and he was right there. A great route, a great throw, and good protection. That's what the play-action pass will do after you've had a little bit of running success, as the Indians have had, and have now scored on their first 2 and only 2 drives of the ball game. Superior Central yet to delve into Indian territory, as they've been held to the Cougar side of the 50 so far. PHE2 try and the big blocking of Pavey, and in they go for 2 more.
That's big. 16 to nothing. Of what Newberry does here. Coach Smithson's still up here in the booth coaching guys. We're missing blocks. We're getting away with it, but we got to execute a little bit better.
Absolutely, Dan. You want to try and be good on no matter what you're doing here, and you can't get too comfortable. That's for sure, and get too cocky, and I don't think the coaches will let that happen. And this team's smart enough to know that they're in a ball game for 4 quarters, come out and play. But right now, they're solidly in control of this first quarter, Dano. 5:10 to go. Indians 16, Cougars 0.
Cougars will send back 17. I got to scramble through. That's the guy we don't have. Hamilton, 2 good boots so far. Run up and the kick, and he will get a hold of this one. High, twisting towards the far sideline, caught on the heels at about the 14-yard line. Nice return again, and Luck just sets it down. Put that on the nominee list for the bone-crunching hit of the game
that
from
sure
Northern
was.
Star Chiropractic. Nice start to the return. It was 25 going right up the gut, and he ran smack dab into the moving wall known as Gabe Luck.
Luck came up solid and hard like a rocket. He's got a big, about 30-yard run towards the play on the kickoff team, and he got his money's worth on that one. It looks like we're in a 4-man front, Dan.
Yeah, a little change up here.
Cougars double tight again.
They're going to go high formation, and they're backing.
Toss.
Far side. Nutkins there, wraps him down. I tell you what, having Gavin Nutkins back not only has allowed more options offensively as far as moving guys around, but he's a pretty solid defensive football player.
Absolutely, Dano, that's for sure. Kid can play anywhere, all over, and do a good job no matter where you put him.
We've been spoiled the past couple of years with our depth and our good numbers. Our quarterbacks have been able to get a breather and not play defense. But I tell you what, nobody probably hits harder than Nutkins, and very solid both supporting the run and in the pass.
He's one of those fearless players that coaches just like to have on their squad.
Snap here,
Toss
toss again, same thing.
Man has done a pretty good job on those first 2 plays, turning that back inside. I'm sure Coach Smithson is going to want to coach him up a little bit and tell him don't be that deep into the backfield. You got to squeeze that down with your inside arm.
Nelson going to come in. Deep. With somebody else up too. I'm trying to see who that other end is. It's Hobson.
3rd down.
Hobson, a speed cover guy, going to play some nose here. Big, high, looping toss, and it's just done from the beginning, and it's Hobson. Hobson had a career high in terms of tackles last week. Batted down a pass as well, and he lines up at nose there. The all-U.P. championship hurdler. He goes from the backside to make the play.
He covered some ground. He got there in a hurry and made a nice tackle once he got there.
Things just a little bit slow developing for the Cougars. The blocks are there, but that toss goes high and wide like that, and the backside has time to run it down.
That does throw off your timing, absolutely.
Here's the boot, Rahali.
The punt away.
On the 42.
This could be a
little
problem.
bit of room. Backside. He's got Nutkins blocking for him. Matty Rahali, left sideline. Matty just barely steps out of bounds. There is a flag way away from the play. Behind it by about 10 yards and on the near side with Rahali running far side, and this is going to be a frustrating one if you're a coach.
Absolutely. Anything away from the play, you got to be a little bit smarter. I'm not sure who this is on yet, on even what team.
It's a lot
Looks
of
like it's
real
on the
estate.
Indians as it's coming back. You're away from the play. Leave that stuff be.
Cost us a touchdown earlier.
Dead ball foul.
Oh,
Kicking.
running into the kicker. Late. It must have came late. I was watching the return. So running into the kicker, 5-yard variety, not an automatic first down, but it does make it now 4th and 3, or 4th and about 4.
Well, we'll see.
Will redo it.
See if Rahali will get another chance.
They're keeping up. Cougars line up to go for it initially. Now Matty will drop back. High snap. There's the boot. No contact this time. Short return for Depew. Depew cuts it back. Kennedy's got room to the near side. Depew up the sideline. Twisted down out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So no harm, no foul. Right about the same spot we would have been. Depew, who was set up as the blocker that time, heads up play on that ball coming short. He had snatched it and he had to go.
Nice to see him back on the field. He missed last week with some medical situation, but he's back in. Fielded that punt clean and took off. Followed some blocking and got a nice return for the Indians. Indians on their 3rd drive. They've scored on their first 2. Cougars still yet to cross the 50 offensively.
Indians back in their gun set. They'll give to Depew. 3rd different drive, 3rd different running back for the Indians. Depew, big stiff arm, lowers the shoulder. He went back to his hockey days there. Used to call him wee man, not anymore.
Not anymore. Hard-nosed.
Emphasis on the man.
Yeah. Just a hard-nosed man. For the Indians.
Indians will line it up. Nutkins looks back. Little hook route. Turn. Up the sideline. Rahali fighting. The jersey gains an extra size. He fumbles.
He fumbles on the 1-yard line. Superior Central
Whose ball?
football.
That's Superior Central. On the line.
Rahali fighting. Lost it at the goal line. I don't know if he's trying to stretch out or if I got cut off by the window pane here.
It certainly might have been, Dan. That's what it looked like to me. That he was trying to reach for the cone, for the pylon, and just dropped it down on the one. Superior Central recovers, and that's the first drive the Indians haven't scored on, but they sure were close. I don't know if you get any closer than that, you know?
Giving away a couple of touchdowns with turnovers into the end zone that they bowled into the
Yes.
into the end zone.
And that's frustrating for a coach, but that's even more frustrating for the players on the field, including the young man who dropped the ball.
Straight ahead, quarterback sneak, just looking for some room. Plunge forward, gang tackle by the Indians.
Rahali and Depew on the tackle.
1:53 to go, 16 nothing here. The first, that's a big stop for the
Come offense. There's the toss.
going to the football. Basically playing on one leg.
And you couldn't tell from that play as he came up like a rocket, made a great open field tackle for a loss.
Just amazes me the days when a torn ACL was a career ender.
And to still see
And
him
now
on
kids
the
are
field.
playing on it.
Absolutely.
That can't feel good.
No, it's going to be painful. The damage is already done. You can't do a bunch more damage. But it is painful. that's for sure. But Mohar is a tough kid and wants to play football.
3rd down and 9 to go here for the Cougars. Give straight ahead, gap up the middle. They'll get a few, and again, maybe just trying to get some room for the punt. 4th and 5.
These snaps have been a little bit suspect, and I'm surprised that we haven't got our hands on one yet. We'll see if the coach brings a little more pressure.
Rahali's going to cheat up here.
One of these ends. Well, that's going to be exciting. That's exciting.
Scramble. Oh, it's going to be a safety for the...
That tough snap. It's hard on a punter, Dano, to make much out of that. But he did the best he could, that young man.
High snap again, and that was doing great from the start. Give that young man credit from Superior Central. He was dipping and diving and trying to find anything, but 4 guys in the backfield. Hamilton, Luck, Millette, I believe was Mohar pursuing as well.
It turns into kind of a Chinese fire drill back there for him, and he was hepping and fetching and scrambling and bambling. But the Indians, like a bunch of bees on a flower garden, were able to get a hold of them and end up with 2 points for the Indians, and Superior Central had to punt from their own 20.
So 18-0 here in the final seconds of the quarter.
Looks like the Cougars are trying to get the right personnel on. 75 comes in. Each has chosen to kick as opposed to punt, as you have that option. Most of the time you'll see a punt that'll give your guys a little more time to get down the field.
Run up, and the boot T almost went further than the ball. Checks up to Rahali. He'll scoop this one up right down the middle. He is like he got launched out of a cannon. Touchdown, Rahali. And right now, it's a big, quick 8-point swing.
That's
made up that touchdown that we gave away on the turnover and then some.
Great blocking. There, it's tough on the Cougars. That 8-point swing. You recover on the end. A tough snap forces the safety, and now the run back on the kick.
I believe that's Rahali's 3rd special teams touchdown of the season.
So they'll go for 2 again. Indians have scored different ways so far, that's for sure, Dan. Have thrown 1 pass, I believe.
Yep.
Just for the PAT2 before.
Rahali, good for the Indians. They go to
Caduti has been run here for a lot of years.
an impressive
Good play, and you can hear
from the middle.
And you
have to go
no, he
that
didn't.
fast.
And you can hear other coaches as soon as they line up screaming Caduti because they're so used to seeing it, and it's still a very difficult play to stop. Usually it takes an error by someone on your offense.
So the matter of 2
that play.
plays, this thing balloons from 16-0 to 26-0.
They'll get another chance here, as it looks like number 9, Gabe Luck's going to kick one.
Well, he tried this last week, and Coach Austin's exact words in practice were,
But a pretty good kick by Luck.
sends that one down, checks up. 10 mishandled. Cougars are going to try and do something with it. Just not much doing there, and another big hit.
Big hit by Mohar on.
Squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world.
Timeout by the Cougars.
Timeout, Superior Central Newberry on top 26-0.
11.7 seconds left to go, Dano.
Yep, near the end
26-0.
of a good, strong first quarter performance for the Indians. We will, in between quarter breaks, step aside for just a minute. Dan's Technology Adventures upstairs at the Newberry High School football field.
You're doing a lot here,
Stuff's
Dan.
hanging out the window.
You're doing a lot. You got cameras, and I don't know what the hell that is, and moving the camera with one hand, the computer with the other, and still doing the play-by-play. A valiant effort by the velvet voice of Newberry Athletics, Mr. Dan Hardenbrook.
Good thing the camera's not on me, at least for this week.
We're going to experiment hopefully next week with the press box cam.
We'll have a doubleheader on homecoming.
Absolutely. I can't wait. We're going to do the JV game and the varsity game.
JVs are at 4. Varsity will be at 7.
As the Indians take on St. Ignace for homecoming. The Saints coming to town.
Oh, boy.
Can't wait, man.
How do you think the emotions will be in that?
Oh, it's going to be huge.
Saints are in Rogers City tonight, trying to extend their perfect start to the season.
Saints had a good weekend last week. Here we go. Cougars still in that eye, double tight. Sneak.
Straightforward. That's been their best.
But a nice game.
End of the first quarter. 26-0 Newberry on top. We will step aside. It's M123 FM, the E.U.P
Blues
Sports
County
Network.
Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world. Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world.
Dan Hardbrook, the coach Jeff Puckett, glad to have you along from the Newberry High School football field. Second quarter is just underway.
I mean, if they're pinching, they're
Bring up third and about 4.
Third and 4 coming up for the Cougars. 26-0 here at the end of one.
It's been all Newberry so far, Dano. But these Cougars keep at it. They're young, a little bit inexperienced, but they continue to work. I'm impressed with their continued effort.
Cougars go with the difficult fumbled snap. That'll end in a pile-up. Hobson's played all 3 levels here early on for the Indians. Just a sign of a guy who's steadily improving. Doesn't have much football experience.
He does have great effort, that's for sure, Dano, as he continues to work and work and work. And sometimes there's just no substitute for hard work. Got to give a big shout out to my lovely wife who's listening, and hopefully my daughter Letty listening out in Portland.
Punt try again, that one blocked. And comes near side and out of bounds. Somebody got a piece of it up front. More good field position for the Tribe.
Leading 26-0.
They lead it.
10:39 to go, Dano, in this second quarter. And this has been all Indians. The Indians have scored on all but one drive where they had fumbled down on the Superior Central 1-yard line. The result of Superior Central's next series was a safety, and then the Indians ran back.
They basically
the
traded
kick.
6 for 10.
It was.
You know, it's kind of going your way, and it's kind of your night when a fumble turns into a positive.
It is. That's rare.
All right, here we go. Indians will line it up here. They'll spread wide. Rahali in at quarterback. Nutkins goes wide. Depew the back. He's going to get the carry. Kennedy going to just try and work straight forward. Got some new linemen up there, too. I see Stilson into the ball game. Jude Taylor's been rotating in and out.
Strong defensive effort that time by the Cougars. The big nose man, number 75. I'm looking for the name on him. The roster we have is
I don't know what this
by
is
grade
from.
level. I'm not sure.
I haven't found one right number yet so far.
But he defeated the block by a big Pavey.
So we
for
do
a nice play.
apologize. It's not personal to the Superior Central fans.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Tried to go quick pass to Nelson, incomplete.
Third down, 8 for the Indians.
You know why Brian missed that?
Surprising we don't, that we're not really just sticking with the run game, Dan. I know that trying to get some other kids involved in the ball game, maybe.
Yep. Stilson's the number 2 center.
Very easy at 2.
Good to see
We got
him in
3
to get some
different
reps.
guys at running back in our second of what could be 4 quarterbacks on the night. Here's Depew. He'll bounce outside. Tough fight near the sideline. Out of bounds for Kennedy Depew.
These freshmen for Superior Central having to play up as they have no JV team are really a gutsy bunch. Now,
Yeah.
They don't always do it right, but they're really working hard to get it right.
Well, and you just got to hope it pays off in the long run.
Yes, it will. If they can stick with it, it will. We're seeing it out of some of our players who've been on the varsity since they were freshmen.
Rahali and the gun. Give. Depew bounces straight back. Good job there. Tell you what, those big fellas, you mentioned 75, number 90 is Jason Canerva. I found one, Coach, the senior. Nice job there on the backside defensive end. Didn't bite on that, held his contain.
Made a nice
when
tap.
Depew had to counter back to that side, he was waiting there with a big old bear hug.
Absolutely. The Indians still end up with the first down. 9-10 and running. And they lead 26-0. Line up with that split flanker set. Depew the lone back in the backfield with Rahali. Pass. Solid blocking up
fakes,
front.
Looks deep. Jump ball. Nutkins back in the end zone. Touchdown. That's gone well the opposite way from Nutkins to Rahali plenty. And that's just a dropping a dime in a bucket in the back of the end zone. And Gavin Nutkins with the TD catch.
The sophomore Cole Ozoga doing the best he could back there. But Nutkins being a little bit taller and was able to jump up and go get that for the score. 32-0 down, 8:49 to go. The Indians lined up for another PAT2 try.
Conversion here. Nutkin straight forward. The old lead
Option.
option pitch to the side. It's good for Depew. And the Indians getting to try a little bit of everything as they lead it 34-0. And this was a 16-0 game with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Now with 8:49 to go in the second, it's all Indians here in this one.
It is, Dano, and we kind of expected it might go this way. We knew that Superior Central was inexperienced a little bit, but they certainly are gamey enough. They continue to play. I haven't seen one head go towards the ground as they come out and get ready to go again.
They've made plays.
They have.
Had a
They've
couple of decent kick
opportunities.
returns. Their first offensive drive, they moved it pretty decently before that penalty just kind of stalled them out.
They did. And they had it beat on the flea flicker and just couldn't make it happen. Block the kick again, Dan.
They complete that pass. We're talking about a totally different first half.
I think so.
All right, here we go. Indians to boot it away. It's Luck again. That's why he got fired. Out of bounds.
That's the kind of kick that will get you fired. That's a screamer. Goes out at about the 30, I assume. They'll take the ball at the 35.
Be one of their best starting spots.
That's where I would want to start.
But they have had some decent yardage on the return game.
They have.
And it's going to be first down from the 35.
At their own 35-yard line. First.
Again, big thank you to Tom McKee. He put the referee crew together, got the 3 needed to play, and then East Depew on the near side sideline said, I'll step in if it means us getting to play this game or not. It was a back and forth of will we play, won't we play, as we tried to find officials.
You can't play without them. They do a good job. They study. They put their time in. You're buying all your equipment. You're paying for your licensing. It's a thankless job sometimes, but it really provides a way for some ex-players and people to stay involved in the game, and we sure are thankful to this crew for being here.
Indians will go back to their 40. There's that toss, high and bobbled, and it takes way too much time to develop when the running back can't run and he's instead trying to corral the football.
That throws your timing off up front for your offensive line, and once that timing is off, it's tough to get started again.
Nobody likes to be a sitting duck for Jude Taylor. He gets there.
Him and Mohar coming like a rocket from his secondary position.
Kaysen Hamilton coming in to give Paves a breather here up front in the middle. Hotson's been a nice addition as just a quick guy shooting that A-gap.
With Mohar coming up so hard, I'd be surprised if we don't throw something out to the flat here.
Go straight forward and cut
tough yards
down.
in there.
Tackle made by Rahali.
Cougars slow to get up, but they will indeed again get up.
Raleigh with good
7:37 to go.
Good clean tackle up front.
And a timeout here for Superior Central. We'll take one as well. 34-0, Indians on top as we work our way through the middle stages of this second quarter.
The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
Superior Central fumbles the snap, coming out to start the continue the drive after the timeout. That'll bring up 4th and 8 for them in a 34-0 contest. Hobson's going to get a chance to run this punt back. Newberry's got Spencer Neeb out there as well. Tally Cox, so they're already kind of going to their second level here.
Superior Central has struggled a bit with the snap and the punt, so we'll see what they can execute here against the Indians, Dano. 6:43 and counting to go.
The punts have been an adventure. The last two led to a safety and a block. Hobson from the 38 caught it on a knee.
On the fair catch.
Oh.
Take it. First down Indians at their own 40-yard line.
Well, you can't argue with that result out of Hobson. Fair catch it, and we start playing offense right there.
Might be the instruction.
Absolutely.
Hey, don't try to do too much.
And a much better punt play by the Cougars that time. A good snap, Paul away well, and decent coverage.
What are we doing?
That was probably the best execution all around of snap, catch, boot on that punt play.
Knee bend now at quarterback, Dano.
Well, I started this experiment about 3 years ago in a nightmare in Norway of a JV game when we were down to 8 players, and it's been in the back of the Indians coaching staff playbook ever since.
Well,
if this goes well, I want the credit.
He's getting his chance.
Fumble. Covered up by the Cougars.
Well, that didn't go quite as well as we had hoped. I'm not sure that that's Spencer's fault, though, as he came in and
a little bit of
turned,
nerves, I'm sure.
and the running back wasn't there.
And you know what Spencer's probably saying? Dear God, why me?
Why me? Well, sometimes greatness is thrust upon us, Dan, and Neve gets his chance.
Destiny chooses us.
That's right. 6:30 to go, Dano, and the Cougars take over for the first time in Newberry territory at the Newberry 37-yard line.
I'd say don't bench him yet. Give here, straight up the gut. Indians defense has been tough and physical. Big case in Hamilton. They call him Beef Stew. Getting off the pile.
Well, Beef Stew's definitely on that one.
Use the biscuits that go with it.
Good to see some other kids in the ball game for the Indians.
Yep.
Moving people around a little bit.
Hamilton, a junior, and hats off to that kid. Younger brother comes up, looks like he's going to be a stud, gets called up to varsity. You're a junior, get asked to go back down and play JV because they were short on linemen, and he would have got more playing time. And the kid just works hard every single day trying to get better.
Absolutely. The epitome of high school athletics. I love those kind of stories, Dano. Looks like
basically he had to go back down to the JVs to take his brother's spot for the call-up.
And the playing time is there for him. I'm sure that he is enjoying it. And the hard work will pay off for him, and those reps will pay off for him.
I don't know if you missed a weight room session in the summer.
Second down after the penalty.
2nd and 15 coming here. 34-0.
Yeah, I would.
They're going to go with that toss. Indians are all over it. Neeb, much better on the defensive side of the ball. Jude Taylor, little cousin connection there, wrapping them up.
Loss of about 3 for the Cougars brings up.
Poor Spency.
5:15 to go, Dano. 34-0 Indians.
I just want to see positive yardage on a play from Spence. Just once.
The Cougars continue to struggle a bit, but they continue to play hard.
We
like
talked
they're going to
before
have
the
to
game
hurry
too, in
here.
the pregame. You just got to find the little things.
Oh,
Find
I don't know
something
that they'll get it
positive.
off, Dan.
Pick a fight that you can win.
Look how far off we are on the line of scrimmage.
Snap here. Empty backfield. They fake throw. They roll right. Almost a horse collar. Then a big hit. And flags are coming.
Tackle made by Taylor. Flag on the play. Looks like a horse collar.
I think the horse collars only get tackled, right? Bring them down. Oh.
Personal foul.
Face mask call there.
Way over there.
15-yard penalty.
That's going to give some
About 3rd and 2.
yards back, and now 3rd and 2 coming up. Joe Austin not happy.
Foul, so it'll be 4th down and about 2 for the Superior Central Cougars.
I think they were asking if it's an automatic first down or not. Going to be short. So Tom McKee says 4th and whatever it is, and it looks like 3.
Think about 3.
Mendoza to check his defensive line. They were like a yard and a half, 2 yards off the ball that time. I mean,
Little different formation this time, Dan. Win with a split.
he was way off.
Indians shift. Low snap. They try to fake counter and then go the same way. And Rahali runs it down to the far side.
And the Indians will take over on downs, Dan. But the Cougars hampered by a penalty and then held by a penalty on the Indians to almost get themselves back into first down territory. And they did not. So the Indians will take over once again. 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. 4:20 left to go. 34-0 Indians, as it's been all Indians so far this evening.
It's Need taking the play back in.
Spencer
All right,
Need.
Spencer, here we go.
Again, at quarterback, he'll get his second set of downs as a quarterback for the Indians offense.
Indians go in their L set. Neeb under center.
Hobson and who?
And they get it off. Give to Depew. Right side. Depew tries to fight back. Gave up his forward progress. We'll see where they spot him.
2nd and 8 for the Indians.
Going to be a gain of 2.
On their own 32 yards.
They get that time by junior Jaden Marzan.
Some
For the
good size
Cougars.
for this Cougars group. Especially up front there.
Yeah. Yeah, they do have some size. Neeb again.
Okay.
2nd and 9.
Indians break the huddle.
Yeah, he was just happy to see a guy to give it to.
Back in the L set. Neeb gives it right to Hobson, who gets met immediately at the line of scrimmage.
Shut down immediately
No gain, bring up
by big
3rd.
number 81, who I don't have, or is that 61? Could be Jacob. Jacob comes on, the big senior defensive lineman for the Cougars.
3rd and 9 coming up for the Tribe. 3:07 to go. Second quarter on top, 34-0. It was tight early, 16-0 in the final minute of the first quarter, and then the Indians went safety, returned the ensuing kick for a touchdown, and broke it wide open. Neeb under center. Neeb, double fake. Goes outside to Depew. Well, Spencer Neeb did complete the drive. Late contact over on the far side.
I mean, he just had to cut off his hands. He had the block was there. The track was there.
And the Indians will punt.
Or no. I mean, I feel like the trap block was there.
So 4th down, Dano.
You just gotta ride off.
And
You
we'll
just
see
gotta
the
ride off.
Indians.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Some confusion.
Set up to punt, it looks like.
Numbers. Now Hamilton's got to come all the way back. We'll boot it away. Snap, good. Catch, good. Block. Nobody picked up the edge, and the Cougars make another play. That's just right off the right edge. Untouched.
Jake Ledesma, the sophomore.
10 Cougars at the Indians.
Well, the Cougars
Busts through the
got
block.
that fumble at the 1 yard line. They
You got 6 guys.
They
you
got
use 2 more guys.
into Newberry territory off of the fumble last time. They keep inching closer.
They've
and
done
closer
some
here.
things. They've done some things, and that's just out of sheer effort. So the Indians are going to have to play defense here. Looks like timeout, Indians. Trying to try and get organized with 1:58 to
They only
go.
had 7. And Coach Mendoza's not happy.
We get 8, let's use 8. And I'm sure that's the coach's philosophy.
Yeah, Kennedy.
So let's see if the Indians can stiffen here and maintain their shutout going in at halftime. It's currently 34-0 Indians. 1:58 to go. There are some subs into the ball game, but they're expected to perform just as they've been trained to. And as a coach, it will drive you wild when they don't.
And that's why the first teamers are headed back out. Coach Mendoza talking to some of them. Out of the huddle, 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Best spot of the day for them, the 24-yard line.
Absolutely, and they're struggling a little bit after the timeout to get themselves organized.
I would.
They already got one player
Run base.
in uniform with no helmet out. And only 4 or 5 on the bench. Toss sweep. Rahali wraps him up. Here comes the help from Nelson.
Tackle made by Rahali on number 17, loss of 1 yard.
I don't think that ball's supposed to go there, Coach.
I don't think so. I think the blocking was set for him to continue outside. But he cut to where he thought the air was free, and it wasn't because Rahali charged him the tag.
Ready. Remember at halftime, we're going to toss them.
Coming up at the half, we'll have our weekly report from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. My sit-down interview with Indians JV coach Zach Klickner as we caught up after the team's big win in Munising last night. Talk about the JVs who will have live in action as part of our homecoming doubleheader here in Newberry next week. Quick whistle. They tried to just pound straight forward. Got about a half a yard.
3rd down as the clock continues to run.
Yeah, for sure.
My all-time favorite saying, I still think, when it comes to Newberry and St. Ignace is Coach Dake. I don't care if it's tiddlywinks. When the Indians and the Saints get together, it's going to be a big deal.
It's going to be a big deal. He's absolutely right. I can't wait, and we'll have the call of both games, JV and Varsity, next week. But we got to get through this one first, Dano.
Snap, straight drop. Wanted to pass,
QB
but
drop.
right. Chopped down at about the 16-yard line. They're going to need a couple more for the first down, but it's probably their most manageable conversion of the night.
I think so, and they take that, I believe, their final timeout, Dan.
Cougars, and it'll bring up 4th down and about 1.5. On the Indian 16-yard line.
Big shout out to Steve Stifler.
Hey,
helping
Steve-O.
produce back at the home base tonight. New toys arrived at the office today, and Steve kept them in the box because Dan needs more than 2 hours of practice before he can take stuff out on the road.
I think that's probably a good idea.
That was Superior Central 3rd and final time.
There was also an investigation into a missing headset.
Oh, you don't say.
Of course, you can read our recaps each and every week in the award-winning Newberry News.
So here we go. 20.3 seconds left to go. 34-zip Indians, but the Cougars driving on 4th and about a long yard.
High formation, quarterback sneak. He didn't get, second effort. He's got it.
I think he's in. And the Cougars earn a first down.
Yep. That's that old Matt Leinart USC play there.
That's it. That's like the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
You can't take over now.
They're going to go no huddle, out of timeouts. Clock will reset when the ball's set. Here we go. They're going to get one crack at it here. Toss to the right. They went to the short side.
He should get out of bounds.
No
Don't throw him out of bounds, and we did.
Luck throws him out of bounds. They wind the clock, and that is halftime.
And that's it.
So, Newberry kind of got off to a strong start. They did have their issues, but they settled back in, and Newberry leads this one 34-0 as we will hit the halftime break. Once again, this week in high school sports, we will also hear from Coach Zach Klickner. Keep it right here. Third quarter action coming up with M123 FM and the E.U.P Sports Network.
The Lewis County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Lewis County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Lewis County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community.
The Scholar Athlete Award rolls into its 35th year, and a quarterback goes from Blake Shelton's team to the Grass Lake team. We'll explain. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Applications are now being accepted for the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. 32 student athletes will eventually be selected to receive $2,000 college scholarships. This is the 35th year of working with Farm Bureau on these awards. Since the 1988-89 school year, Farm Bureau has handed out $1 million in scholarships for the Scholar Athlete Award. Seniors with an unrounded 3.5 or better grade point average who have earned at least one varsity letter in an MHSAA-sponsored sport are eligible to apply. Everything you need to apply can be found online at MHSAA.com, and the application deadline is Friday, December 1st. Finalists will be announced in late January. The scholarship winners will be announced throughout the month of February, and those winners will be honored during the boys basketball finals at the Breslin Center in East Lansing in March. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from this past week. First, Kearney Nadeau's Samantha Ketch had 18 assists, 8 aces, and 7 digs in a straight sets win over Rapid River on the volleyball court. Zeeland swimmer Jenna Mayer, she was first in 2 individual events and part of 2 relay wins in a dual victory over Holland. Mayer was the fastest in the 50 free and the 100 breaststroke, and on teams that won the 200 medley and 200 freestyle. And to Brighton cross-country runner Elijah Forboard, his time of 16:33 was enough to give Brighton a tie-break win over Northville in the Elite Division at the Spartan Invitational. Brighton and Northville are the last 2 Division I champs and were tied after the first 5 runners, but Forboard's run gave the Bulldogs the win.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In golf, it's common to hear about birdies, eagles, maybe an albatross, or in my case, a snowman. But what if an actual animal interferes with your ball while in play? There are 2 kinds of interference. The first involves a ball still in motion. If you are putting and a squirrel darts out and stops or redirects your putt, you simply get a do-over from the original spot. Off the green, if a moving ball is stopped or redirected, you play the ball from where it ultimately stops. If your ball is stopped and a seagull picks it up and carries it off, you just replace the ball to its original spot and proceed. It doesn't happen often, but now you know how to deal with squirrels and seagulls in addition to birdies and eagles.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Quarterbacks are used to using their voice in the huddle, but how many of them get to use it on a stage in front of a national audience while singing? That's the case for Grass Lake junior Braden Lape. He has Grass Lake off to a 3-0 start this year, throwing for 260 yards a game and a total of 10 touchdowns so far. In the offseason, Lape was on a different team. Competing on the 22nd season of NBC's The Voice, Lape was on Blake Shelton's team and ultimately placed 5th in the singing competition. From there, he spent the summer touring the East Coast and performing at some events closer to home like the Jackson County Fair. Lape has released 2 singles so far, Hand It To Ya and Feels Like the First Time. and hopes to continue a career in music while also hoping to lead Grass Lake to the postseason. You can follow Braden on Instagram for updates at Braden_Late24. And to hear and see some of his performances from The Voice, go to MHSAA.com and check out Doug Donnelly's article on the singer/quarterback. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
Dan Hardenbrook back with you here at the half as Newberry takes on Superior Central tonight from the Newberry High School football field. Third quarter coverage is coming up in just a minute. Joined now by the Newberry JV football head coach. It's Zach Klickner. Junior Varsity Indians having a really strong season. Coach, how things been going down there at the JV level?
Absolutely excellent, Dan. We're getting some good quality games in against some decent opponents, and we're winning. The boys, the leadership at our JV level this year is phenomenal. We did things a little different with the captains this year, so we're allowing some more guys to kind of step up and take on some of them leadership roles, and they're far exceeding Coach Smithson and I's expectations.
You got guys that seem like just being around the facility after school and at practices. A lot of guys that are just excited and love to come out and play football.
Yeah, we got a lot of gamers. A lot of guys that are sophomores, but they're only second-year football players. But you'd never guess that looking at them. We got Lewicki and Kellogg. This is their second year ever of football, and they're two of the biggest leaders on our team.
And have emerged as two of the best players and guys that will definitely make a big impact. One of the big things at the JV level, obviously, is trying to improve and develop guys, and no better example. You lost a tough one at home to Munising by a touchdown earlier this year. Played them again last night just to fill a game on your schedule, and you go out there and you win big, 58-12. Just the growth in the past 3 weeks, that doesn't happen overnight. What have you seen from the guys where you can take a one touchdown loss and turn around a few weeks later and win big?
And that's it. That's a leadership that's a testament to the leadership on our team, Dan. You know, we went in, we had a good film session after that loss. A lot of the boys learned a lot. And it's nice to have that film so you can show them exactly what you're talking about. And that's a big credit. Mike Lusk, he's been doing film for us this year. He's been doing a phenomenal job. We appreciate having him helping us out. But yeah, like I said, it's the leadership, owning their mistakes, stepping up to the plate, getting better every day. Last week didn't hurt us having a week off by any means. We had a couple of guys that were a little banged up, gave them a chance to get healthy, and some of the guys that were banged up contributed big time last night.
This program has had a great run of success. You've been a part of it at basically every level, from the youth all the way on up to the varsity. What makes this group that you have now at the JV level prepared to kind of sustain that success? Because it looks like when they move up, the Newberry Indians football program isn't going anywhere.
You know, we're really stressing the fundamentals of football, the finer points, the little niches in the rule book, so that we're making football smart kids. And that just it goes tenfold when they hit the varsity level. We're also making great young men, and that's something we kind of hung our hat on here around Newberry the last number of years. Is we're going to do things right on and off the field, and that's the bigger picture for us, I think, Dan.
Moving forward, homecoming week, always fun for the players, nightmare for the coaches. You got an always interesting matchup with the Saints coming in, St. Ignace. You guys will play first next Friday night on homecoming night. And then some big matchups down the stretch with the Pickford. And where do you see this team kind of going, and what do you try to keep the focus on as you hit the stretch run?
You know, next week, like you said, it's kind of a nightmare. There's so many off-field distractions. You got powder puff. You got all your different days at school, and obviously the game Friday night. you try to block out all the parade, all the pomp and
The
circumstance.
nice part
there.
is you get to play during the parade.
That's it. But yeah, it's going to be a hectic week next week. And I stressed to the kids last night, big picture right now is the next one.
Yep.
And it is going to be a big one with St. Ignace. So.
Was it Coach Bucket that always used to say they built homecoming around a football game and not put a football game around the rest of the week?
That's it. That's exactly it. So we got to take care of business on Friday, but we got to take care of business Monday through Thursday, and then it's payday on Friday.
All right. Great work for the JV football team. They will be in action in the first half of a doubleheader next week, Friday night homecoming week. And Zach, keep up the great work and doing great things with those youngsters down there.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, third quarter action coming up between the Indians and the Cougars.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias. We put ports in. We remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
Back here in Newberry, 34-0 at the half. Indians over Superior Central. It hasn't been, I think, fully as bad as the scoreboard looks. Cougars have made some plays. They just have not been able to sustain any momentum. They've gotten a couple of turnovers here in this one. They got the ball, got a stop, but 1 yard line, tough spot to be. And that was kind of the swing there late in that first quarter. Went from 16-0 to 26-0 in a hurry on a safety and a quick kick return. And then the Indians took a short field and marched right down to get that score. Once again, want to mention next week we'll have a homecoming doubleheader here from Newberry as the St. Ignace Saints come to town. 4 o'clock for the JV. Varsity contest at 7. Thursday night, our Newberry homecoming week continues with girls volleyball. It's the one that's been circled on the calendar now for a couple of weeks. Rudgard coming into the jail to cook on Thursday night, take on the Lady Indians. That'll be a first place matchup in both the E.U.P and the Straits Area Conference. And I am telling you, if you have not seen our girls volleyball team play yet, both JV and varsity, you are missing out.
They're pretty impressive, Dano. The addition of some of the exchange students has made a huge impact, and I think that's given confidence and brought some of our local players along, and they performed better.
Yep, and I think what you're going to start seeing, my volleyball broadcast partner, Coach Jim Deslak, obviously with the girls basketball program, we're coming out of this phase where we've had 3 or 4 years where we've had to scrap our JVs or pull all of our young players up to varsity. And these girls like Allie Whalen and Amelia Shanley, Addison Schrader, these are girls that are finally getting to play against kids that are their age. And you got to remember, our juniors and seniors are the group that lost their middle school development years to the COVID suspensions. So we're finally catching back up to the cycle here. And I think you're starting to see that experience pay off for our players that have returned this year. And then, of course, the level, like you said, gets raised when you bring in a couple of talented players. The biggest thing that the foreign exchange girls have done is it gives us 3 extra bodies when we desperately needed it, and we got good numbers to have a JV and a varsity.
Absolutely. You just can't put the emphasis on that development is huge. What's going on in youth football?
Youth football, week 2 of the E.U.P Junior High Football League in Rudyard tomorrow. Games will start at 9 o'clock. Indians and Rudyard will be the 3rd game of that triple header at noon. And we get to set the table for Rudyard's varsity tomorrow because they'll play in the afternoon against Marion. So if you like youth and high school football, Rudyard's the place to be tomorrow. I believe Engadine also in action.
Fantastic. Lots of good football to see this weekend.
Big Ten action, Michigan, a noon kickoff with Rutgers tomorrow. State's on at 3:30 as they take on Maryland. Ohio State and Notre Dame. I'm hoping for a giant crater to just appear at the 50-yard line and swallow everybody up.
Definitely lots of football to watch. I can't wait. My favorite time of year. Dano, leads are starting to turn. Hopefully soon those cool evenings will come back with frost in the morning.
Lions going to try and do what the Packers couldn't last week, and that's beat the Falcons. Green Bay gets the Saints, and Newberry gets the ball to start the second half. Cougars, the run-up and the kick. Going to be short. Newberry put everybody at the second level. Rahali, full running speed head start. And ladies and gentlemen, the words of his great Uncle Adam, he gone. Touchdown, Matthew Rahali. You cannot give him a running head start and smart adjustment. We've seen the shorter kickoffs. We put 4 guys in a straight line back at the 30-yard line and just attack.
You may want to, with that kicking ability, kick that ball on the ground and at least give yourself a chance to recover it.
I tell you what, Matthew Rahali's making people a lot of money.
Absolutely. So the Indians will have their PAT2 team on the field. And the Cougars, a tough start for them to begin this second half. That puts up 40 for the Indians as they go for the 2-point try, and we'll have running clock after this, Daniel. And
Rahali belly and movement. Wilson start to go early on that.
8-yard line for the try.
Didn't see the movement.
I didn't either, but I'm sure it was there.
Could have been something with the center too.
They have a lot better view than I do right now, although I have not, it has not been beyond me to help the officials a little bit now and then, Dano, and I think I can.
They get an A for me tonight.
They're doing a great job. They're here and putting forth great effort so these young men can play this game. So the Indians will try again, Dano.
Nutkins. They flip the formation. Hard count, quick slant. Depew hauls it, off the hands, incomplete. So it'll stay 40-0. Indians and Cougars. One other score report that we did get at halftime. Munising is on top of Indian River Inland Lakes, 18-0. Inland Lakes was undefeated before falling to St. Ignace last week.
And ranked in the state. They've got some notoriety.
Saints are at Rogers City tonight. Pickford taking on Rapid River. Brimley and Cedarville. Engadine picks up the forfeit win, and as we said, Rudyard gets Marion tomorrow. The boys on the Rudyard Bulldog Bulletin going to have that one. Our new broadcast partners over there.
I was able to watch them a couple weeks ago. They're learning and going through, and it's a great opportunity for those folks over there. Hamilton, the beef stew to kick.
This one, a deep kick. Fielded. Cougars will start left side. Chatter back. Bounce inside. Another broken tackle. They sneak up the left side and duck out of bounds. Tell you what, this hasn't been bad on special teams for Superior Central tonight. Who, speaking of Rudyard, they will have the Cougars next week. so I'm sure some Red Yard faithful tuning in tonight.
And the Cougars take over for their first offensive possession of the second half, Dano. And they come to the line from their own 44-yard line.
That deep eye. Give here, big hole. They set up toss that time, came back down with the old fullback
back
dive.
Inside. A good play.
Luck on the tackle for the Indians.
But Luck came down for his defensive end position in a hurry and shut it down, but not before the Cougars get a 5-yard gain. Going to bring up second and 5 for the Cougars. And they're still not into Indian territory here yet, Daniel.
Their 2 drives that have crossed midfield have started there off of turnovers. Ball just shy of the 50. Cougars go under center. They'll give a dive, try to bounce outside. Man, our outside contain has been rock solid tonight, and Rahali is there to clean that one up.
Rahali comes up and mops it up. Number 15, Talesman Cox in now for the Indians.
Well, Crawford came out. He's another guy just kind of working his way back. Had to miss a couple of weeks for Mets. So, seeing the rotation tonight, do hope that Liam Nillette is okay. I see him without the pads and the helmet. Still wearing his jersey down there on the Newberry sideline. And the Cougars jump off sides.
Movement on Superior Central. We'll go back 5-yard line.
That's a drive killer, Nano. Bring up
those have been the ones, we saw it back on the first drive, that have just, I mean, man, oh man. This is a tough team to go 3rd and 10 against.
It is. Definitely some things that they're going to want to clean up. Things to work on, always. And if you can eliminate the penalties and the turnovers, you're halfway there. That's for sure. But empty backfield for the Cougars.
Short drive.
Big
Indians just pin their ears back, and the pursuit is there. It's going to be a quarterback sack.
And the Cougars will have to punt.
Gabe Luck in on the stop. Cougars slow to get up. Coaches came racing right out.
Fourth down 12.
Be interesting to see how these two teams, how the schedule will shake out next year, with rumors of an overhauled Great Lakes 8. Right now it's East and West. There's talk about going big school, small school, which was a split that destroyed the Mid-Penn Conference and turned it into a 16-team West Pack. Had to be done there. But do you go Central, East and West? Do you go big school, small school? Travel going to be back on the calendar for teams next year. Ball here, intercepted. Rahali back the other way. He's a gear ahead of everybody else. Tiptoes. Touchdown, but it's coming back. And that's going to be the 3rd touchdown, I think, this year that's been taken off the board for Rahali. He was into the end zone when a blindside block comes back at about the 30-yard line.
Again, that's a hit behind the play, away from the play. I don't know why we do that, and I'm sure that the coaches will make a point to ask why we're doing that and to stop that. It just kills you. It's not smart.
Would have been a 45-yard touchdown. Flag spotted at the 32. Block in the back.
In the back on the Indians.
No interception, no touchdown. So, that was 4th down. It extends the drive.
The interception stands, but it will be 1st and 10. Indians.
Automatic first down,
At
too.
Superior Central.
Not sure why Superior Central's coming to the ball. The block came after the interception.
That's true.
So now they're going to quickly try
It
to
should be Newberry football here.
shift to defense. It looks like it is.
Yep.
The Indians 1st and 10 now from the Cougar 46-yard line.
Yep, so the penalty yardage left them just short of what they would have needed for a first down.
Looks like we'll need a quarterback.
Indians going to go back with Nutkins. I see Bufford, who I think is playing his first offensive snaps of the season here. Neeb's going to line up as a tailback, or as the running back next to Nutkins. Hobson, I believe, to the far side. They go read option. Gavin Nutkins ran right into big 52 and got sent back. Nice job there. Cougars. Isaac Lotvola, I hope I'm saying that right. He basically ate up both A-gaps, and that allowed the Cougars to pursue the football. 46 I don't see in the program either.
No timing on that play, Dano. It's they're trying to get a carry to the running back, and I'm not quite sure he knows exactly where he's supposed to go and when.
Well, Neeb's normally been.
Oh, that's exciting.
That one through the hands.
Cougars will recover.
Cougars get it back. So then they go Neeb with Mohar in the backfield, and poor Spence, who's repped as a tight end all season.
Yeah, I know we're trying to get some guys into the game here.
He's played one half of a game in his career at quarterback as the JVs.
So Indians will take over defensively, and the big grizzly bear Pavey comes out.
And I think, like you said, previous play, just a little bit of confusion on who's taking,
yes,
who's pulling there. Cougars back on the attack. They'll go straight eye. They haven't done a whole lot of different. Nelson rips it loose, but forward progress. They'll mark that ball down. Good job by Nelson.
Loss on the play, loss of 2. 2nd down and 12 for the Cougars at the Indian 49-yard line.
Indian defense with some subs in there continues to stiffen and push the Cougars backwards.
Stilson and Case and Hamilton in up front. It was Neeb going into the second level. They've all played tonight. Varsity guys, and there are a few JVs in uniform that we'll probably see. They get one quarter tonight.
And the Cougars with no back. Split each side.
Yep, 2nd and 12, and the slot guy is moving, but they'll let it go. Looking for quarterback draw, and it's just 4 guys everywhere that the Cougars try to go. They just, you know what they need? Just timing.
Yeah.
That's been their biggest thing.
That's going to help.
There's a disconnect somewhere in the process, whether it's getting to the block or getting off the ball or...
And I think
quarterback's ready to go on the draw there before the guys have cleared out.
Continued repetition is what they'll need, and they'll get it. Back to the eye for the Cougars on 3rd and about 12. 3:49 in a running clock.
Oh.
The toss.
Luck knew it was coming. Fumble. Forced by Depew. Covered by Mohar. Kennedy Depew saw that thing developing, that big high toss sweep. He punches it out. Mohar on top of it. Indians get the football back at the 49-yard line.
So the Cougars back on defense now. Ball at the Indian 49. 40-0 Indians with 3:22 in a running clock left in the 3rd quarter. Indians trying to get organized, get some subs in.
Mohar, I think, going to play quarterback here.
I haven't looked at the depth chart. I'm not sure if I'm on it to play quarterback, Dano, but I wouldn't be surprised if I am.
We got to draw straws for the 4th.
Yes, we do.
Hope they don't want to run the ball.
No. Here we go.
Mohar.
Cougar, everybody in the box. Are the Cougars up tight and ready to go?
Meade back in the R&L with Mohar in the backfield. Hobson bounces outside, breaks a tackle. Hobson has the corner. Hobson ripped down hard.
Skipper Hobson,
Big run.
Gain of 20 yards for the Indians.
Inside the 30. Well developed there. Probably the best play of the night for the Newberry Twos.
Certainly could. A great good tackle there by Jacob Combs, a big senior. Took him down in a hurry, though, once he eventually caught up with him. And 1st and 10 Indians. From, it looks like, what, Dano, the 30-yard line of the Cougars. 2:06 in the running clock still.
You said it back early in the broadcast. Hobson just plays hard, man.
Yes. That was a good, hard run.
40-0, running time under 2 minutes to go here in the third. Indians trying to get to 4-1. Fake the give. Come second man through. Just like it's drawn up, Mohar.
Mohar, the ball carrier, gain of 9 on
The Indian offensive line that time, Dano, executed very well. Trap play coming down, another man up into the hole for a nice gain for the Indians as this substituted offensive line gets their reps in. And you can see the effect that Coach Smithson, Coach Mendoza have had on this line play.
Coach Smithson came over and spent some time with the middle schoolers a week or so ago. And it was an absolute clinic in education.
He can do it. He understands it. He studies. And he and I have spent a lot of time together. I know the system he's running.
Hobson, touchdown on a perfectly executed fake by Spencer Neeb. And that's, I think the rust is kind of shaken off here. And Hobson gets free and he scores. And I tell you what, that they go to Mohar, he gets the big gain. They fake that, go back to Hobson on the big run outside. And the Indians get on the board. Hobson is the 5th different player to carry the football tonight for Newberry.
And continued strong offensive line play on that drive by the substituted Indian offensive line. Maintaining blocks and then good hard running by your running backs. Keep the mistakes out of it and you can do a lot of stuff. And the try for 2, Dano.
Indians will go single back with the receiver split wide. 2 tight ends. It's draw for Neeb to the corner. He's in for 2. Spencer Neeb.
48-0.
Not quite the next Hall of Fame quarterback in Newberry, but I tell you, that's the first drive that didn't end in an absolute disaster for Ole Spence.
Like my brother says, it's not how, it's how many, and that's 2 for Neeb. 50 seconds left to go as the clock stops on the extra point try, but it'll be running clock still. 48-0 Indians here on this Friday night, and it's been all Indians, but I do have to credit the Superior Central crew. They came down here, Dano, and knew that they were going to be a little bit outmanned and maybe a lot outmanned, but I still haven't seen any heads go to the ground. They continue to take the field. They continue to work hard, and I admire that and I respect that. But it's just too much Indians all over the place for this young Superior Cougar team.
Gabe Luck to tee it up, gets the signal and the whistle.
Luck rehired. And a good kick by Luck. Nope, it's out of bounds. I spoke too soon. And Dano, I think he's going to get fired again.
You got 50 seconds of job security.
That's about it. So,
one of the things I like that we're seeing, I've been paying attention to Newberry, just trying to see who's coming off the sideline, who's coming out. We got guys like Pavey, Rahali, Gavin Nutkins I saw in one. They're right up with the coaches, telling their replacement. Coaches are giving instruction to the guys coming in. Rahali and Nutkins are giving Spence a little pat on the back and a pick-me-up because things started rough. Pavey's high-fiving and patting his guys on the back as they're going in.
That means a lot. It really does, because those guys stand and cheer for those starters. And I think it's always admirable when those starters return that favor, and it shows that leadership that you like to see throughout your team each and every year.
Cougars go shotgun, I believe, first time tonight. They're going to just look quarterback draw, and again, slow to develop. Running back and quarterback were both just kind of chattering their feet next to each other there. And that is the end of the third quarter. Indians lead at 48-0 as we step aside.
Duluth County Veteran Services Office proudly advocates for our area veterans. Local Veteran Services Officer Rick Menard is ready to serve you. For all your veteran service needs, including claims, medical information, benefit coverage, and more, contact Rick Menard in the Duluth County Veteran Services Office at 293-4890. The Duluth County Veteran Services Office, proud supporters of our community. The Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis is your award-winning Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Can-Am dealer. From the water to the trails, don't take your next trip without visiting the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis. From sales and service to rentals and accessories, the Fish and Hunt Shop in Curtis has everything you need for your next great adventure. The Fish and Hunt Shop on Main Street in Curtis or online at fishandhuntshop.com.
Are you tired of squinting and straining to see the world around you? Dr. Derek Dake and the team at Northern Lights Vision Center in Newberry is committed to bringing the beauty of clear vision back into your life. Whether you're in need of new eyeglasses or contact lenses, Northern Lights Vision Center has many choices to choose from. Say goodbye to blurry vision and hello to a world of clarity and color. Your journey to a clearer vision starts with a simple call by calling 906-291-2015 to set up an appointment. Let Northern Lights Vision Center light up your world.
Dan Hardebrook, the coach, Jeff Puckett, glad to have you along here in Newberry. Indians up 48-0. Superior Central football second down. All second teamers, and now the JVs coming in as well. Flea flicker again. That's just a run for your life. And Bufford just wraps up, hangs on, makes the stop. Third down coming up.
Smart play by Bufford that time, not to hit that young man out of bounds. He held up.
I see Lewicki. I believe it's Kellogg. Craig Whalen. And then they join Tally Cox, Brett Bufford, Spencer Neeb, Ethan Stilson, and Kason Hamilton up front for the Indians. I formation right below us. Oh, that looked like it was supposed to be fake and just wrapped up in the middle. 22. Garrett Lewicki.
4th and about 3, Daniel, for the Cougars. On their own 42-yard line, 48-0. 10:41 in a running clock here in the fourth quarter. As the Cougars continue to struggle a little bit.
They unfortunately can't rest or save anybody. 13 left standing going into the fourth quarter. High snap, running back takes it. He's just going to go right side. Gets around the edge. It's a first down. Just out of the reach of Neeb. And a step too quick for Whalen on the far side.
If that play's not in, you might as well put it in, because that takes care of your timing problem.
47-yard line.
The old Wildcat.
And first down. Some single wing themes there, as that's very close to my heart. And I'm a bit of a student of the single wing game.
Ball right at the top of the end.
Indians down to the 3-man front at 32. Corners rolled up some with the safety deep.
Give to the fullback here. Nice room for the Cougars. Stop on a cutback. Second effort, third effort now. Nice hard running by the Cougars. Hey, they're going to make the most out of this last 9 minutes.
That's the junior, Jade Marizan. A nice run, quick dive off tackle. And some blocking up front for the Cougars.
When they had the timing down, they've executed fairly well at times. I think with that toss sweep game, they've just realized how much speed Newberry has on the edges. Up the middle, ball's loose. And they'll whistle it dead as the Cougars were trying to break away on the old Fumblerooski for a touchdown. Kason Hamilton knocked it out. He makes the stop up front. And a second helping of beef stew for the Cougars.
A bit of a quick whistle, but these officials trying to keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
Trying to kill the play as soon as they believe they should, and they have the experience and know-how.
Yep, and I think
more than I do, Dan.
Tom McKee's telling them right now, coming into the huddle.
Eight minutes and running, Dano. Indians 48-0 on this Friday night.
Cougars with 2 first downs on this drive.
Second and
trying
9.
to get on the board. They'll go toss sweep to the right. Whalen can't quite get there. Run out of bounds.
I'm not sure why that quarterback isn't reverse pivoting out so he can get some velocity on that toss. I don't know if they're set something up to dive off of that or something else. Those are the things an old coach notices, Dano, and pays attention to.
Well, and it gives the defense an extra time to read the pitch, which is where Depew jumped that one and forced the fumble earlier. Straight dive here. Beef stew for everybody. Kason Hamilton.
Tackle made in there by Hamilton.
He is gobbling him up.
He's tough all over. Big boy getting a chance.
It's one of those team building wins too.
Yeah.
Everybody going to be excited after. Everybody going to come back in on Monday. Everybody got playing time.
Absolutely. That means a lot. These young men get a chance to get the uniform a little bit dirty, get a chance to watch themselves on film.
6:41 to go and a timeout here for, I'm assuming, the Cougars. Newberry will try to make one more stand to get the ball back, and they can work on putting this thing to bed.
Please, if you're parked in the end zone, turn your headlights off.
Oh, official stoppage.
Seen that before. People parked on the end outside the fence and end up with their lights on.
They do know that it's free to get in now, right?
I think they do. But a lot of times their grandparents
They're out there watching us.
I'm sure that's it, Dano. They get a chance to come in and be comfortable in their vehicle. I know my dad watched a lot of football those last few years from the truck.
Bleachers aren't padded.
They are not. That's for sure.
6:41 to go. We're back at it here. 4th and 6. Movement.
Movement out of the quarterback.
Yep. Center never snapped it. Another penalty kills a short or manageable conversion and pushes it to double digits on yardage. 4th and 11 now.
4th and 11 for the Cougars. Ball on the Indians, 35.
Flea flicker here.
It couldn't hurt. We've seen
Saw
it twice.
Once earlier that was almost completed, and if it was completed, would have been probably a touchdown.
Certainly would.
And then one that kind of got just discombobulated, where after the pitch back to the quarterback, they had to keep it, but they're going to go empty here.
Oh, no.
The snap. Running deep back. He'll just throw it. Intercepted, no. Right through the wickets for Nelson. Indians will get it back. And they're just going to let this thing roll. They're not going to stop it on this time of possession. I think everybody's content here.
I believe so.
See what the Indians do here.
Cougars come out defensively again. They've seen all of their players make the field. There's a couple that are on the bench now. May have got dinged just a little bit. I hope it's nothing serious, as the Cougars are going to want their entire repertoire for next week, Dano.
Well, that came out without the pads and the helmet after halftime. We seen tape on the knee. Looks to be walking okay. Probably just, we're hoping, just a precautionary, as it was 40-0, and now 48-0 here in the fourth.
You always want to err on the side of caution with these young men, these young players.
Are going to need him next week.
Absolutely. Let's keep them healthy.
Garrett Lewicki in at quarterback. He has been excellent with the JVs. Gives to Kellogg, who is the starting tailback for that group. Two guys who are in just their second year ever of football.
I had an opportunity to meet those young men 2 weeks ago for the first time. I was impressed with both of those young men. Very good-natured, but serious about what they're doing. See some leadership capability out of both. I liked it. I was very happy to meet those young men. Those kind of men give me hope.
Whalen's lined up as a tackle as the third JV call-up for tonight. Give here. Right side. Kellogg takes a shot. Just keeps on going. Hard-nosed run for Kellogg. 4 minutes and counting.
Good hard running there, Dano.
He fought just long enough. 2 more steps and he's out of bounds.
Darn near got the first down. So 3rd and short, Dano, for the Indians. Clock continues to run. Been a running clock since after the first drive, as the Indians came out and scored quick.
Kickoff return.
Absolutely.
Right out of the gate.
Can't get us any quicker than that.
Indians also had a pick six called back here in the second half. Lewicki runs the read option perfect, gets the corner. He lowers his shoulder. And these guys who played 4 quarters of football last night are playing a little overtime here, and they're looking sharp.
Good hard running by Lewicki as he got out of there like a bullet to get the first down plus more. And the Indians are in the Cougars territory now at the 47-yard line.
Tally Cox playing tight end. Bufford is your wideout. It's Lewicki and Kellogg in the backfield. I believe Neeb playing the 3 on the far side. Give here. Kellogg spins, fights forward. Yards after contact.
Makes something out of nothing as the defensive end came down hard. I know that Coach Klickner saw that. I wouldn't be surprised to see him that pull and that quarterback come around the end for a big gain.
Coach Klickner telling Garrett the hand signals for the time. Coach Klickner getting to call the plays with his JV quarterback and running back. Him and Coach Smithson done an awesome job with that JV group. Lewicki pulls it. He needs one block. He got it from Bufford. Lewicki kind of slowed down. Quick out of the gates. More of a sprinter than a distance guy.
That should slow down that defensive end a little bit.
And that's exactly what you said.
Coach Klickner saw just what I saw. For a nice gain for the Indians.
Down inside the 19. Another big run for the Indians. Kellogg and Lewicki are now the 7th and 8th guys tonight to have multiple carries in a team effort for the Indians. And they may run one more and just call it good.
And may set an E on it.
Yep.
You don't need to rub a team's nose in it.
Here's the countdown. And there it is. There it is. Take it now.
Lewicki takes in the 16.
So the Indians are going to walk away with this one, 48-0. They avoid the letdown, smack dab in between two pretty big ball games. Saints coming in next week.
And a huge contest in terms of league standings and what's going on. So I hope that we see a great game. Get out here if you can and enjoy both the JV and varsity contests. If you can't, then tune us in and we'll have all the action.
JV's at 4, varsity will follow at 7, and that will do it. Indians 48, Superior Central, no score. As we step aside here, post-game coming up with M123 FM.
The things that we do as well as any place you could get it done.
Dr. Benjamin Bryant is proud of the surgery performed at Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center and reminds you, if you've put off some procedures because of COVID, chances are the surgery team at Helen Newberry Joy can perform it right here close to home.
We have a very experienced team. I think that our outcomes speak for us in terms of the job that gets done.
The list of procedures available just minutes from home at Helen Newberry Joy is impressive.
Gallbladder surgery is very, very common. We fix hernias, we put ports in, we remove all sorts of other lesions. We do vasectomies here. I don't think the public really knows that.
So if you've been putting off a procedure, it's only a quick phone call away.
I recommend that if they have a primary care doctor, they keep that doctor in the loop. But all they have to do is either call their doctor's office or call my office and ask to be scheduled, and they get scheduled.
Helen Newberry Joy Hospital and Healthcare Center. Your health, our passion.
It's a huge inventory reduction sale at Newberry Motors. Get a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew 4x4 with 152,000 miles for only $19,995 or best offer. With over $2 million in pre-owned late model inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs that gotta go. It's a huge inventory reduction sale happening now at Newberry Motors, your locally owned family-run dealer. Call 906-293-5104 or find us on South M123 in Newberry.
Back here in Newberry, Dan Hardenbrook, Jeff Puckett wrapping this thing up in a 48-0 win, and loyalty starting to sound a lot better after your 4th win of the year.
It's always fun when you win, I know that's for sure.
Always better than it is after win number 1.
Yes. And I guess the saying is that football's always fun, but always funner when you win. And a big win for the victory for the Indians tonight. It was all Indians. They could do very little bit wrong. We had the one fumble that we were able to turn around and swing 10 points into out of good hard-nosed heads-up play.
And that really kind of was the difference because the Cougars were hanging around. They were showing flashes, but couldn't get anything consistent. And you said it, even all the way up through halftime, no hanging heads. But I think that kickoff return to start the third quarter was kind of the KO blow for the Cougars.
That's tough. You come out, you make your halftime adjustments, you give them the gipper, you get them back going again. You come out and Rahali catches the ball on a dead run up the middle and blows by everybody, isn't touched. And that's tough to take. But the Cougars, they continue their own celebration.
Yeah, rally cry on the far sideline. They
getting ready for next week.
Lift their chin up, and I tell you what, look at the gauntlet.
Absolutely.
We talk about how good this league is. They're going through everybody at the same time right now.
Yeah.
And there'll be better days ahead for that Cougars football program. But tonight, Newberry wins it 48-0. And we are going to wrap it up here from the Newberry High School football field. Our next sports broadcast is going to be Thursday night. Jim Deslak will join me from the JL to Cook as the Lady Indians take on Rudyard in volleyball action. The next Friday, Newberry celebrates homecoming. I believe there's going to, at some point, probably be pictures or video of the parade. 4 o'clock, the JV game. Parade starts at 6. Varsity contest kicks off at 7 for the homecoming festivities in Newberry. And we will be here for the main event, which is Indians and Saints. In the final year of the Straits Area Conference, 2 old Straits Area Conference football foes get to meet up on the sideline in the Saints' first year of 8-man football. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy the football and fun with your families wherever you are. this weekend. Indians 48, Cougars no score with M123 FM, the E.U.P Sports Network.